Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome. Thank you for coming and spending your Saturday night with us and tapping into some of these insights with the new moon, full moon energies, because we hear so many people talk about it all the time and there's so many rituals around it. Hi, everybody. Hi, Kelly. There's so many rituals around it. What does it actually mean? What does it do for us? So I invited my beautiful friend and soul sister, Sarah Jane, to come and sit with us tonight and just share her insights from her perspective. And she's amazing at, the sound bath, singing bowls, crystal bowls. And yeah, I'm really excited to bring her in. So let me bring her in. Hello. How you going?
Hello. I'd like to extend that welcome to Libby, to everybody for definitely giving up their Saturday night.
Yes.
Hour, which is, really nice to have you here and to, kind of chew the fat with us, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's always a lot of fun. Always a lot of fun.
So
And
thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it. Lovely to share the time and, my own journey, I guess, and my own perspective
yeah.
on my own research and my own experience. So, I
So
hope everyone gets something out of it. Yeah.
absolutely. And for some people who may not have seen much of your work yet, tell us a little bit about you. Who is Sarah?
Who is Sarah? Sarah Jane. Yeah. Well, so I've been on my sort of spiritual journey for, I feel like, forever, really, but not really actually knowing it until I started to be drawn to different modalities, which then I tried different things. I went into Reiki, biodynamic craniosacral therapy, and I really started to think about kind of where that would actually lead me in my own spiritual journey, in my own experiences. And I'm a mum and 3 kids and a dog who's here. She may bark. I apologise. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. I've done quite a lot of different modalities to bring me kind of full circle to come into my own truth. Oh, there she is, into my own truth,
Oh,
own alignment. She's so funny when I get those. Mummy, there's a candle. Go away, go away, go away.
don't get burned.
No, she will get burned. So, it's really hard to say who I am. I am just me. I am just Sarah Jane. I don't really give myself an identity. I've got to be honest. I try and stay away from that. I just try and be in my truth
Yeah.
and share what resonates with me and hope that that gives some self empowerment to others.
And we so appreciate it because one thing, if anybody has done any work with Sarah or been at an event where she has presented or even just one-on-one client work, one thing with Sarah is you can tell everything that she speaks is her truth. And it's in a very non-judgmental way. If you have a different perspective, she's like, wow, that's really interesting. Tell me about that. And, diving through it. And I was actually speaking to one of our other teachers, Julie Byrne, the other day, and I said to her, so often if I'm faced with a difficult conversation or I need to bring something up or clear something up, I think, what would Sarah say? How would Sarah approach this? So I'm
Um,
so happy to have you here and sharing this with everybody just so that they can get a little taste of this as well. And especially with your knowledge of meditation, you have done meditation training. And, you know, so there's often these rituals around the lunar cycle, right? So
yeah.
tell us, what do you know about that?
Yeah. So thank you, Libby. I really appreciate that introduction, and likewise, I also am also a seeker of times of difficulty in others. So where, and everything I say is not law, right? I just want to really put that out there. And you're quite right. I am very open to other people's opinions and what resonates with them, because we're all so different. And that's actually the truth of your own healing, actually, is that we're all so different. And what resonates with you, that's why we have an array of modalities out there for people to seek, to help you and to support you. And remember that, because you're never broken and you don't need fixing. It's really about support and guidance that you're looking for. And if you have someone in your life that's asking the right questions for you to find it within yourself, then I really like that path. That really resonates with me. So yeah, so I am kind of a non-rule type person.
Yeah.
So one of my rules that I don't kind of like rituals as such is, you know, even with the full moon and the new moon, you know, it's like get all your crystals outside, and there's nothing wrong with it, right? Remember, there's no law here. But for me, if I think that energy can work on such a majestic level, then I imagine, if you can imagine light, white light coming in, and manifestation, I manifest that the roof of my house completely goes up during that period of time, and the light of the moon shines in on all my crystals and completely cleanses them.
Yeah.
So for me, because I have so many crystals, I can't
Oh,
get them
could
all
you imagine?
outside.
Especially your big ones, like you,
My
you physically
I know I
couldn't.
can't do that. So as working with energy, and how I like to personally work with energy, whether I'm clearing a place or doing it on my own front door or whatever, you know, imagination and vibration and having a congruence with your intentions, I believe you can allow anything. If you can manifest anything, then why not? Why not? Why put a rule around it that it can't be so? That's my opinion.
Totally.
So the new moon that we have here, and so basically what it actually, I've written some notes, so don't mind me looking down because I scribble. I have to write it all down because sometimes I can go off in a bit of a tangent. So I apologize. So I try and keep myself aligned with the time frame that we have. So a new moon actually does represent new beginnings. It's always about, it's the new lunar cycle. So new beginnings, and it has, and the reason why people do a lot of rituals around it, because of the potency that it actually has on the astro side of it, you know, the astronomical side of it. So that's why a lot of people do it on that day. But I also believe that you can do it way before and you can do it way after. So we always come in from a cycle from a full moon into a new moon. And I'll talk about that as I go on. So yeah, it's about really setting goals. Any projects that you wish to partake in, it's almost like you go, right, I've actually had enough of that, what's just been going on, I'm done. It gives you the opportunity and almost like a stake in the ground to give yourself permission to actually start again. Does that make sense? Because it's like, because sometimes we can't get out of the patterns with some kind of stake in the ground to say, right, today you can do it. Today's the day to make a decision. Today's the day. So that's what it really represents as well. Is it allows us as human beings to start making that, right, I've had enough of that. That's no longer serving me. What's my new beginnings? What do I now want to start aiming for, moving forward with, right?
I love that because I haven't followed a huge amount of Gabrielle Bernstein's, but I know that in one of her books or one of her courses, and she says like we always have the power to choose again. So it's almost like new moon energies. It is the permission for you to go, okay, I'm choosing again. Not working. Here I go. It's like that pattern interrupt if we want it to be. If we want it to be.
Correct. It's like, you know, you go, right, Monday I'm going to start my diet. You put a stake in the ground,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And that's an example. It's one of the easiest examples. Then you'll go, I don't know, you know, in the month of June, I'm not going to drink the whole month of June. So you're putting, that's why, you know, dry July and all those things happen because they give us an opportunity to make the changes if we're unable to do them any other time when it's not so advertised, I guess.
Yeah.
So I really like it. And I think, so again, the rules, it doesn't have to be on that day. You know, you can make those choices anytime in your life. And that's really the empowerment and the permission to give yourself that you're able to do that at any moment in time. It's your birthright, basically.
Yeah.
So also, like I was looking at, you know, when people say that the moon actually affects us, you know how people go, gosh, I'm feeling so discombobulated, I'm feeling out of sorts. You know, why is that? Why is it that we have this kind of progression to like, you know, we're so, and then we start going, we're all feeling, then we'll hear someone that talks about something, you go, oh, that's why, I get it, it makes sense. We've had that many times, right, Livy?
Yeah, as a hospital worker in the emergency department, you dread the full moon. You know, you don't want to be night shift on a full moon because the crazies are out. Like it's yeah, it just heightens.
It heightens, exactly. But I've looked into it myself, and there's actually no scientific evidence to say that it is the full moon. But
Mhm.
my understanding is that we are 75% water. And as most of you that do actually know me, I am very much a body work. I'm very much on this earth. I'm very much empowered with your own physical body. I'm not as esoteric, although I love that stuff. Don't get me wrong. And I have healers that work on me, if you like, in that realm. But that's not me. I'm very much an earthy person that works on your physical body and your experiences that you have on this earth. So it stands to reason with the way that the moon and the sun work with the tides of the ocean. And we ourselves, we are 75% water, and we have our own tide within our own system that I work with
Mm.
on a biodynamic craniosacral therapy level. So it makes sense that we start to feel that build up when things are starting to feel a little bit ooh, because it's time for change. It's the way the world or the earth, however you want to word it, is letting us know that things are coming up. So you start to feel the emotions, or you start to have that internal dialogue that actually is no longer serving you. Why is that? Because it's an opportunity to put that stake in the ground to make a choice.
Yes.
And if we recognize it and the potency that it's in, you really get to work with it in a way that serves you. Does that
Amazing.
make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You
And
use the patterns, use the rhythm to our advantage when we understand it. Because so I think for so many generations, we've just ignored these invisible forces that we do have at our fingertips. We can, yeah, we can use them to our advantage, but we just
yeah,
haven't been. So,
and
yeah.
often people that possibly don't really have that awareness but are seeking that awareness tend to look externally for blame. Why I'm
Mhm.
feeling like this to you, why I'm feeling like this is because of my job, why I'm feeling like this. And some of that has an element of truth. Like, don't get me wrong, there are people out there that aren't particularly nice. And, you know, we have the saying that hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
Um, and, and that is very true. But when you get the opportunity to observe actually what is it that's going on actually for me, so you know, internally. And again, that's something that I really like to ask a lot of questions with my clients, to allow them to come to their own understanding of why they do something. It's not none of my business why they do something,
Mm.
actually. It's really empowering them to ask the right questions and allow them
Mm.
to have those moments of, oh my gosh, I've just always done that because X, Y, and Z, whatever that is. So it's fascinating to, and we've all been feeling it the last few weeks, right? I mean, certainly
Mhm.
myself too. I mean, there have been some moments of, that's why the ebbs and flows come. One minute we're
Yeah.
like this, we're like this, you know. It's all part of life and all part of our experience, all part of our own growth. So it's all really normal. How good's that?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's yucky, I get it. And sometimes it's not very
Yes.
nice. You know, it's so now is the time to really start thinking about your desires, like putting that stake in the ground, thinking about your desires and really what it is you actually really want, and being truthful with that. What is it you really actually really want, and what does that look like? You know,
Mm.
worry about the ways to get there, or you know what you've got to put in place right now. Just think about it, start writing it down. And ways that you can do that, some of you don't know, some of you may do, is you can, I actually have a really really beautiful diary that I write
Mm.
in, for these times, that I write in this beautiful diary. And I will section out parts of my life, relationship, money and whatever, business and family and partner, whatever it is. I will put that all in there and I'll just write beautifully
Mm.
in a book like that. And I find that for me that works. But you don't actually have to do it. You can just sit there and put it out to the universe and just think about it.
Yeah.
Again, yours. Ultimately, if you're congruent, you'll know. If you're not congruent, that's where the fuzziness comes in. It's like, do you want this or you want this? You say you want that, but you don't want that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so it's and it's very dark outside. I don't know if you've noticed, it's very dark outside, and this is actually caused by the moon that actually sits roughly just actually between the Earth and the Sun. That's why it's so dark. Normally, when we have a full moon, it's really bright.
Mm.
You know, so yeah, I found that really weird because it's really, really dark outside at the moment.
Yeah.
So here's the cool part, though. So before all this happens, it's called actually a waning moon. I think that's how you pronounce it, a waning moon. Have you heard of
Yes.
that? Yes.
Yes.
So the waning moon phase, it's the transition from the full moon into the new moon. So makes sense. It's like a kind of not a rebirth, but it's kind of for me, I feel like it's an inward thing. Like even when I hear that,
Mm.
it's just kind of like it's an inward because you're thinking about your new desires, what you really want. So you're going actually internally, and basically, from my understanding, that's kind of what it means. It means that you're actually going inwards. It made sense to me when I started to read it. I was like, well, okay, because that's how I feel. Because when you come into the new moon, you're internally looking at what it is that you want. So it makes sense that it's dark, right? So you're looking at the
Yes.
shadow part of what you no longer want or what no longer serves you. And that comes in many forms. That comes in the way that you behave, that comes in the way that you have your internal dialogue. Yeah, it comes in how you treat your body, what you put
Mm-hmm.
into your, you know. Yeah, does that make sense, Libby? I hope
Definitely.
it's
Definitely does. Yeah.
and gives
Absolutely.
you the opportunity to be the observer actually then. So when you're going, for me, when I'm going internally, I become the observer rather than, and it's not easy. Like I'm not saying that I'm brilliant at it, right? But I know that this is what I need to do is I need to become the observer. What is it that I'm actually saying? So how can I, you've heard the terminology, how can you reframe it? If I say, oh, back to swear then, sorry, oh, bleep,
It's all right.
I'm an idiot. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Like I do something, I go, oh, you're such an idiot. I'm like, actually, no, you just forgot about that. So reframing it, keep it simple. You don't have to be rah, rah, rah. Just keep it simple and
Yes.
change the internal dialogue. So it really does give you a chance to sort of reflect on how you're behaving within yourself. Are you sleeping right? We all have our stuff, right? We all have a drink or whatever it is and eat or, eat whatever we eat. But it's okay. Again, there actually is no rules, but it's
Mm-hmm.
what you are doing within that.
Yes.
That's the point that you need to change. Well, you don't need to change anything. I take that back, but that's something to be observant about.
Yeah. And it's more about why are you eating or drinking that way?
Yeah.
What's going on? It's not the fact of the behavior, it's the reasons behind it or the energy that you're bringing into it. And when you say like it is the waning moon and it's all internal, it's almost like it's the chance to have a look at what's hiding in the shadows.
Yes,
What is in there? Yeah.
review and contemplation. That's when you start to go inwards and then coming out into the new moon and going, right, stake in the ground, this is what I want. So that's why everyone's potentially been feeling a little bit, or even having habits. So I mean,
Yeah.
my story last year, maybe some of you don't, that I gave up drinking for a whole year, no alcohol for a whole year. I just literally got up one morning, put a stake in the ground. There was no dry July, did it in January, just decided that I wasn't going to drink for a whole year. And the reason that I did that, I really wanted to observe my own behavior with experiences that were going on in my life, good, bad. And I've had a lot of stuff going on last year, massive amounts of stuff, family, work, study, whatever it's been. And what was happening to my own physical body and my mental state when things were starting to unfold that were quite difficult, whether they were difficult conversations or whatever it was, that's, we all not struggle, we all deal with things on different levels. So for me, I did a whole year of that, and it wasn't tough, but it was tough to go, right now, I know that I'm thinking I could really have a drink right now, have a glass of wine because I'm feeling so stressed. That was then. This is all about me. Remember, there's no right or wrong. But that's what I chose to do, was to be the observer of my own behaviour and why I was doing that while I was going through things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we have been given the opportunity while we're going through into the new moon to be the observer and be discerning actually in what we really want and what we don't.
Mm. Well, it's
So I hope that.
interesting that you bring not that up, but just with the whole talking about the new moon and that it's a time to look at what do we really want. And I pulled a card for us just before we started, and I pulled, whether you can see it or not, the life purpose card. And I was saying to Sarah, it's not surprising now because we we have this very fresh new energy coming through where we've hit a tipping point where we've gone past the point of no return.
Mm,
And I believe that we are embarking on this new earth, as woo woo as it sounds. We,
mm,
we're going to reach a new level of consciousness that we can't take away. And pulling the life purpose card, the whole life purpose, it gets spoken about a lot, and people really hang a lot of meaning on that. And it's not to say you're not contributing if you're not living your purpose, but it's a time to kind of have a look at what kind of imprint am I having in the world. Is
yes.
there an area that I wanna lean in a little more? Is there
Mm,
some new conversations that I can be having that are gonna make a difference to people who I'm having those conversations with?
yeah.
And I always make the comparison of it can be a conversation at your dinner table or you can be speaking from a stage. It is still huge impact in those
100%.
lives. So, yeah.
I feel sometimes at purpose people get too caught up in a destination with purpose. And
Yes.
for me, just bear with me a little bit, that for me a purpose is change, right? So a purpose is where you can actually make a difference and a change. That's all what we're kind of striving for in a way, is to serve. How can we be purposeful in everything? So it's about sort of making change. And I came to the conclusion that making change doesn't always just come within, right? Making change comes from interaction.
Yes.
You, you be the change through interaction.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It totally does. It totally does. Because I've been doing some soul searching on this as well. And I just basically said, I believe that we all have a universal purpose of sharing. There is something we are here to share. And maybe it is an idea, maybe it is a product, a technology, a modality, who knows what it is, but it is to share something. And maybe it is sharing some guidance and wisdom with our kids at the dinner table, you know?
Absolutely. It's about
Mm.
interaction and about having those conversations, about having conversations, about interaction. And I think maybe with the COVID, everybody got so caught up that almost like our purpose is just actually living and being,
Yeah.
actually just being. And that's what we all miss. That's what we all craved, being kind of locked away. Was we craved that interaction, which is where we actually get to express and share our changes from within, and that can only happen when we get the opportunity to express it and share it,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? So
Yeah.
that's why I'm here today, and I'm grateful that I mean I don't do many lives very often now, but when I get the opportunity to do them, I really enjoy it because I really do get to share in this forum, although I get to do it in other forums, but I get to do it in this forum. So I'm really grateful to do that. And I'm sorry if anybody's saying anything, I can't see anything. I don't know who's
No, it's all
replying.
good. It's
Everybody.
it's all good, but I did wanna say if anybody does have a question for Sarah, type it in because I can pop it on the screen and we can, you know, we can throw that at her and just see what comes up. But stick around because Sarah is going to do a nice sound bath for us at the end to wrap things up as well.
So another thing I just wanted to really mention that I did write down here, it's also actually a time when we talk about reflection and what we want and what we're congruent with as well. It is also actually a time to really, really look over your shoulder and look at the steps and the stairs that you have taken to get to where you are at today. Give yourself, honor yourself actually in the strength that you have and the accomplishments and the growth that you've actually made. I think that's really, really super important for your own, and that in itself, pay attention if you find that easy or not easy to do in terms of your internal dialogue, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm really big on that because that's your internal power actually and that's how to love yourself too. I truly believe that is to how you can start to love yourself is really recognizing your growth and your accomplishments, and you smiled at someone and made their day, and you made a kid smile or whatever it is. They're all huge impact. You have no idea. We have no idea actually, and that's the beauty. I love that when you just actually have no idea.
Yeah.
What you've done. What did I write down here? And actually, and I talk a lot, you've heard me say this before, Libby, about our tapestry, how we're all working actually together in our tapestry. And just remember that, because I feel like I want to say that too, is remember that we are all part of the same tapestry. We're all interwoven together in some way. People you just meet just by eye contact or passing in the street, that it's all part of the tapestry. And I love that. I love that word tapestry. It just, makes me feel like one. So, yeah. I hope you like that, because I do.
Beautiful. Yeah.
So,
love
lead
it.
you tomorrow. So tomorrow is the new moon. So it's entirely up to you whether you want to do a ritual, you want to start journaling, you want to write down some stuff, and you want to make some changes. Start small. If that serves you better, or you absolutely know and you can use this as your stake in the ground to get motivated and give it a go.
Beautiful. I would love to hear what people kind of intend to change or shift or start new with this new moon energy. I'd love to hear.
Yeah, and remember you have a choice. So while you're running, I've just wrote some things down. So recognize within you your thoughts and behaviors and any negative internal dialogue that you have, that habits. So just be aware of them. Come into, okay. And what I do when I have negative thoughts, or I have, like I said, I actually say, I think I wrote it down, I say thank you. But that's not my truth. And then I reframe it. So I really like that. Really quick, really easy at that moment in time. Like if you're not socially, comfortable, you might meet someone and go, oh God, I just beat up, or they think I'm an idiot. Just go, actually, thank you, but that's not my truth. And reframe it. Quick, easy, just eradicate it. It distills it straight away. I hope that helps, because I do. And then I make a new statement. Actually, no, I'm just not feeling, talkative today, or my words just didn't flow today very well, or, didn't feel like my words flow today, but, I'm getting better.
Yes.
Getting better at being more sociable, and getting better at just keep going with that, keep that momentum. That's a much more positive way. And a lot of that stuff I've learned through like different people I've watched. You just watch different people. I think I learned that years ago from, I've forgotten her name now. Sorry, it will come to me. I've forgotten her name. I'm sure someone will come on there and have a question. So basically, you want to step out of the waning moon, right? And step into the new one.
Yes.
What you want to do with greater appreciation, acceptance, love, and fresh thoughts. That's what I wrote. Having courage is not being hard. I really need to say that. I don't know why I wrote that on its own. Having courage is not about being hard. Okay? Whatever that came up. So just remember, and follow your hearts and desires, and keep them in the present moment, Okay, often we can get too. You're gonna say that, Libby. Go for it.
No, no. Yeah, no,
Oh,
it's so true.
yeah, we get too embarked. Is I want this over there and I want that over there. There's nothing wrong with your desires, but still keep them in the present moment as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to be
Even,
happy.
share
Mm.
your insight and your wisdom with manifestation quickly before we, you know how you before we went live, and there's so much,
Oh,
emphasis put on manifestation, and we
thank you.
treat it as such a luxury or a, um, like
Yes.
something that you have to earn or yeah,
Well, what
share.
it's for me, what's happened is for me, right? Again, not law, is I found that our manifestations have become so conditioned about what we
Yes.
should be actually manifesting, right? So I went just one morning, I just got up and went, well, I'm just sick of all that kind of, manifesting. So I went, I'm thirsty. I'm going to manifest a glass of water. So I got up, got a glass of water, there it was.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out into I want to manifest, I want to walk, put my feet on the grass. So I did it, right? I really do feel when you really allow yourself to fall into it without all the hoo-ha, you really allow yourself to manifest and just start playing with it, with stuff, even stuff that you already have or you've forgotten about. Well, today I'm going to manifest, I'm going to have a sandwich and I'm going to have that in it and make it happen, right? Because
Yes.
that's the way manifestation happens. It does not land in your lap,
Yes.
so to speak. So just practice with what you already have already manifested. And then you come into gratefulness. Like I really, for me, that was just like, get it for me, right? So
Yeah.
manifest a glass because I'm thirsty. I want a glass of water. I'm going to go manifest it.
And we take
And
it
if
for granted, right? We take
yeah,
so much for granted.
yes, this is all the 3D world, right? We're all vibration. Everything vibrates. Everything vibrates. Your cells. That's why singing bowls, people that use tones of their voices, tuning forks, and all that work. I truly believe that. And there's a lot to say in all of that. We don't know enough about it, but yeah, manifest. Just play with that. I don't know if that helps. For
Yeah.
me,
Yes.
I don't know if I added anything else because sometimes maybe you and I talk and I just go into this space where I just go,
Yeah. No, you did cover it because and it's just it's so simple, but it is so true, and it is how by doing that and saying, "I'm thirsty, I want a glass of water," and you
yes,
are creating, you are calling in and producing a
yes,
glass of water,
yes,
we are in the present moment at that point in time and making it happen, and everything is a muscle. So the more that
brilliant,
we can appreciate these little things that we are always continually manifesting, like it's a real
yeah.
light bulb moment for me because we can continue to build that muscle every single day.
100%. Like with you and your young, beautiful boys, you go, I want a hug. I'm going to manifest a hug. Boys, come here and give me a hug. Done.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But often we get too caught up in it's like you're putting an application in and you're waiting.
Yes. Yes. And
Actually,
that it
mm,
needs to be your wish needs to be granted by somebody else. Okay,
ideally,
yes, she's been a good girl. She has
oh,
earned the brownie points and deserves this, which matches
you
her desires.
you got it. You're worthy now. It's your turn to be lucky. You're lucky. It's your turn. Oh gosh, well, no, you're going to get sick now because you've had too much luck. It doesn't actually work like that.
Yeah.
But we are conditioned into thinking that, I believe. So I start to play with that. I really do start to play with that. And look, you can go, oh well, I'm going to manifest. I'm going to go first class, but I can't afford it. Then
Mm.
you're not congruent with that. Just get that all out of your head,
Mhm.
right? Because then we're getting conditioned. Just keep it simple. Just play with it a bit. Just play with the simple things. I'm going to manifest. I'm going to, perhaps see a blue hat. Play with those things. I'm going to see a child that's going to smile at me today. Play with those
Yeah.
things. watch. You watch how that works. Have some fun with
Mm.
it. Stop writing the application and waiting for it to come in.
Yes, yes, and hoping, because there's so much hope, right? When you do an application, it's like, "I hope I answered everything right.
I
I
love that you
hope
said
that they saw." Yep.
because what that's doing is in effect you are coming from a place of lack because
Yes.
you believe that with having that you are going to be happy,
Yes. Yep.
whereas I'm thirsty, I want a glass of water.
Yes.
It's not going to make me
Yep.
like happy, but I want a glass of water. I'm congruent with that. I want a glass of water because I'm
Mm.
thirsty. Think about that.
Yeah.
Seriously, you can go down a
I
rabbit
love
hole where it's deep. Like just that
it.
simple for me, that's really deep. For me, that's just
Yeah.
really, I love it. I love it. So thank you for allowing me to have that space to share how I
Yeah.
operate and think about the
I
world.
love it, Sarah. Love, love, love.
How much food for thought? Any questions? Anybody got any
No,
questions?
everyone's quiet tonight. Unless
Oh,
I may not be, I mean, we've got people online, but unless I'm perhaps not seeing them all, sometimes they don't pop up. But, um, yes, what I will do is I'll blank my screen and I'll observe, experience the sound bath along with everybody else,
great.
and I'll leave you to wrap it up if that's okay. You can,
Yeah. So I'm going to be, I was thinking about the meditation and the singing bowls tonight, and I feel like the energy, everybody's been through quite a lot, and I want to bring the vibration back into alignment for you tonight, and hopefully put you in a space where you can connect to your own physical body. So I'll start with just grounding you, bringing you into your alignment, maybe just using it, I don't know, I'm just going to go with the flow, and then I'm just going to do the singing bowls, and then I think we're going to wrap up at 9 o'clock. Is that right, Libby?
yeah, yeah, or close to
Great.
then, whenever. It's all good. It's all
Yeah,
good. Mhm.
and then what we'll do is we'll keep it really quiet at the end, so you guys can just either go into contemplation, find yourself a spot in your home, or even go to bed if that's what you choose to in that night. So we'll keep it really quiet at the end and allow you to have that time. Okay, I just want to say thank you all for being on. Thank you for
Thank
listening.
you.
It's been really lovely to share tonight. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, maybe I'll see you again soon.
I love having you in this space and sharing your wisdom. So I'm sure we'll have a little pop up of Sarah Jane now and then. But yeah, thank you so much, and thanks everybody who has been watching. I will hand it over to Sarah, and I will back away. I will see you all really, really soon, and have a
So at the end,
beautiful weekend.
you'll come in at the end, Libby, and then shut it all down, I assume.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Awesome. Thank you so much.
pleasure, Dan. Enjoy. So
Thank you.
just a moment, everyone, really, just to digest what we've been sharing and how that's resonated with you, and if that's at any chance activated something within your body, perhaps maybe made you ask more questions, or just notice how that whole conversation has gone in the last 40 minutes for you, and just sit with that vibration within your body. So I want to invite you just to come into your breath, find a comfortable position, whether that's sitting, lying down, however for you. Could be just sitting in a chair. I hope you can't hear my dog snore. And just coming into your breath, just relaxing your shoulders. We're actually going to start from the head. So we start from the crown of our head. We're just going to use our imagination. If you've not done this before, just using your imagination to the best of your ability. And starting at the crown of your head. Just feeling an energy sitting just above there. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring it down like a hologram all over your body to help you relax, okay? So as it starts, I always imagine it kind of like a halo going around, like a scanner. So starting at the top of the head and just allowing it to slowly move down your head, past your forehead, your eyes, your ears, your nose and your mouth, and just allowing relaxation to come through with that. Now going around your chin and your neck. And we're coming to the shoulders, and I really want you to emphasize the word relaxation. Send the signal to those muscles in your shoulders and around your neck, around the back of your spine, your lower back, your front, your chest. Just allowing that to really be pulled down by gravity to relax. Your arms, your hands, however you choose to rest them on your knees or in your lap. And as you work your way down your torso, around your belly, allow your belly to relax. Notice how you're breathing. Are you breathing in your chest or in your belly? Nothing's wrong or right. There's no rules here right now. Going through your hip bones and your sit bones, and really again feel the gravity pulling you down through your sit bones, pulling you down to the earth, through your thighs and your knees, and right the way down to your ankles and to both feet. And feel the energetic pull from Mother Earth pulling you down, keeping you totally grounded in your physical body. We're going to stay in our physical body, but it's okay if you have images or go off to your favorite place. It's totally fine. This is your journey. Okay. Just coming into your breath and breathing through your nose. Just notice the air coming in through your nose and out through your nose. Just for a few breaths. I'd like to invite you to bring your attention now to your spinal cord, which I call your midline. It comes from the top of your neck, your access into the skull, and goes all the way down to your tailbone. And see a colour full of liquid within that. This is your life force. This is your tide. Notice how strong it is, the colour, the density. Could be colour white, could be blue, could be gold. Just notice it. Notice the strength. And if you're not noticing too much strength, bring the strength in from your crown, bringing the light to give you more energy and more tide. Remember, just ask. And watch your thoughts. Just let them be. If you find you're getting caught up in conversation, just come back to your breath or your midline, whichever works for you. And in your body, start to feel new beginnings, creativity, relaxation, and being in the present of you, of your essence and of who you are. And just notice. Keep allowing your body to relax. Your legs, just check in every now and then. If you notice anything tight around your body, maybe your back. I'm going to start with the singing bowls now. courage to step forward. Allowing courage with your choices. It's just right for you. Okay, so just taking a few deep breaths into your belly. And just giving yourself some love for giving yourself this time. I'll send you love and light, and thank you all. Thank you. Rest well.